Roshan from the Indian cricket team is here to address the press conference. Please raise and wait for your turn to ask your question. Yes, Vivek.
Ashwin, today is Virat's birthday, so was there any special celebration today?
Yeah, we cut cake. Rishabh had it. Some of us came just before we came for practice. Yes.
Enjoy.
Hi Ashwin, since day one you've been practicing a lot against the short ball, like even the throwdown specialists, they have been like serving you those underarm deliveries, and even in the game against Bangladesh, that 6 of the pull shot and the boundary, I mean, we can say that it made a difference. So I mean, was this a conscious effort that you were planning to, you had a plan to take on the short ball, you're practicing against it?
I don't have a lot of balls to plan and take it on, but that's pretty much been a plan here. I think it's not only the lower order batsmen, because of the bounce and the boundary sizes. People have tended to go a lot of length and short balls with mid on, mid off up. So it is a very critical shot to practice. You can't keep thinking, go in there, think how I'm going to rotate it and all that. So you have to be practicing and giving your instinct the best chance to hit that ball. Glad it worked. Hopefully it keeps working.
Right.
Ashwin, how much of a believer are you in matchups? It seems to be a big thing in T20 cricket these days with data analysts and things like that.
I don't think players innately have, necessarily need to believe in matchups, but I think it's an area that teams and tactical nooses and edges are happening around. And I think it's safe to say that one end of the spectrum is to plan for all those things. But as a bowler, you need to constantly, a bowler or a batter, you need to constantly know where the Achilles heels are and work on it and try and get better. You want to add that extra tooth to your skills, be it with the bat or with the ball. So I think it is a feature that's existing, and it is definitely paying dividends. But as a playing unit, to only believe in that and say this is what it is, this guy will bowl to this person, you can't work like that. But I think it's giving a tactical edge to teams.
Kaushik, followed by Gushan, sir.
Ashwin, it's the earliest you have come to Australia at the time of the year. So what did you expect coming in terms of what you will get conditions-wise?
I thought my entire sunscreen will be used. Unfortunately, no. It's hit me. I mean, I generally like cold weather. I've been to England and all, played a lot of cricket, but this has been very unique and very different. If you're playing a test match, at least you can, warm up through the day or get better. But playing T20 cricket in this weather, not to know what the surface will be like, how it will respond, what the weather is like. It's been a new experience coming to Australia. So yeah, it's been a unique World Cup that way.
Yeah, and I just want to ask in terms of your bowling, what did you expect coming in, and did you have to change anything, your role on the side?
No, not really. I think one of the greatest features of T20 cricket is how you adapt to a particular situation, given that time, given the demands of the game, where you're bowling, where you're not bowling, and which batsman you're coming up against, what is the situation, etc. So pretty much the roles have been like the fast bowlers have set the tone, and you as a spinner coming in the back half, 9th or 10th over, and then doing a job for the back end of the 10th over is a role that we have to adapt to. It's not like I haven't done that role before. It happens in the IPL now and then. So the demands of the game, what the situation is, and what you have to deliver for the team is exactly what adaptation is called.
Yeah, Ashwin, this time the different you have played it at all these grounds multiple times. So is there anything different that you're seeing in the tracks, like whether MCG or Perth or the Optus track or the Adelaide, like anything different from your earlier tours where you played white ball cricket?
It would be unfair to say it's different or it's anything, because we've never come and toured Australia at this time of the year. So generally when it comes to the sport itself, conditions are king. So you need to understand that this is what is being presented in front of you. Like I said, T20 is one sport where you need to adapt quickly and also respond quickly. So you don't have the time or the bandwidth to be able to think, assess, and deliver. It's the time spans are very short. But the one thing is, some of the teams have managed to stay in one venue and play at a certain venue a couple of times, which Indian team hasn't had the luxury of doing, and rightly so. I mean, we are going around Australia. Obviously, there are a lot of Indian people around the country who want to watch the game, so it's understandable.
Ashwin, you spoke about the weather, the cold conditions, and the fact that these are fresh wickets early season. Have they altered the game plan for the spinners in this World Cup? And you?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
The weather, the conditions, early season pitches, have they altered the game plan for the spinners? Would they had to bowl differently in these conditions?
Like you can't make a concrete plan, go out there and say this is going to be my plan. Like you'll have to adapt to the situation then and there, and you see what's in front of you, what the scorecard is, what the required rate is, and then go about delivering the best ball that you can. Because very often in T20 cricket, it's I mean, like as a bowler, you'd love to get wickets by the buckets, but it might not be the necessary thing when it comes to T20 cricket when you're playing. So you might have to deliver handover and over at 8 or 9. And the next person might end up picking up the wickets, whoever has the better chance of getting the wickets. So it's simple as far as I'm concerned. That's the approach. That's been my approach that's given me success, be it with the ball or with the bat, to play it then and there, the situation, and what's the best chance of success for me or for my team. That's how it would go about it.
Oh, yeah.
Ashwin, Vimal Kumar here. Unlike last year का जो वर्ल्ड कप था, इंडिया ने इस बार स्टार्ट नहीं किया एज ए फेवरेट, और कल रिकी पॉन्टिंग से बात हुई तो उन्होंने कहा कि इंडिया अभी तक एट इट्स बेस्ट नहीं दिखी है, इसके बावजूद वो इस स्टेज पे है. अब आपको लगता है रियल प्रेशर, क्योंकि अब यहां से लग रहा है कि इंडिया डिस्पाइट नॉट बीइंग एट देयर बेस्ट, वो बड़े आसानी से जो है सेमीफाइनल में पहुंचती दिख रही है. यहां से रियल गेम शुरू हो रहा है.
आसानी से नहीं पहुंचा सर. we've had quite tricky games. या बांग्लादेश के साथ हो या पाकिस्तान के साथ हो, all these games went down to the wire. So look, I think in T20 cricket, to follow common cricket cliches, I hope it changes at some time. But I think even people watching the game, giving their expert opinions on the game, are still are learning their ropes, I would say, because the game is divided by such small margins. Even sometimes I've spoken to experts and ex-cricketers, they themselves feel they're catching up with the pace of the game and how the game's evolved. So it would be unfair to say that the team's not stepped up or the team's not looking at its best, because it's on the day. Like I said, it's on the day. How are you going to counter a plan that's delivered? How are you going to counter a bowler that's bowled a good first over? So it's then and there. You can't really nail down and say the team's not played good cricket or played wonderful cricket. It's on the day, how well you execute your skills. So T20 cricket is standing on very small margins. So to make any previews ahead, or I would better say just make a review after the game, which is much better.
Yes.
Ashwin, Amrit from New Zealand, India. Ashwin, फील्डिंग को लेकर किस तरह का चल रहा है प्रैक्टिस? क्योंकि कुछ देख रहे हैं कि हम साउथ अफ्रीका फील्डिंग अप टू मार्क नहीं रही, जिसका खामियाजा में देखने को मिला.
कैसे जवाब दूं सर? सारे सब लोग हार्ड वर्क कर रहे हैं कि प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं कि कैचिंग हाई बॉल्स या फ्लैट बॉल्स और ग्राउंड फील्डिंग, एवरीबडी इज पुटिंग इन द हार्ड वर्क. Like I said, on the game day, what happens, how you may drop a catch, or what you do is very, very important. Having said that, we've had a couple of ordinary games, while we've also had a wonderful game last game against Bangladesh. Our catching and probably that run out turned the game on its head. So it's about, like I said, it's been a very different tour to Australia. The weather has been very cold. It's not only us that have put down catches. There have been teams which are very, very good on the park in this tournament who have also dropped catches. So I think there could be something to do with the conditions or the climate or the weather or the lack of reference point when the high catches are coming. So keeping all that in mind, we are putting in the hard yards. On that day, it just needs to turn. Whoever works harder gets luckier.
Final two. Yes.
Hi, Ashwin. Hi. जैसे आपकी नजर सामने बैट्समैन को आउट करने पे रहती है, ऐसे क्या एक नजर नॉन स्ट्राइकर एंड पर अभी भी रहती है कॉन्शियसली? और कई प्लेयर्स ने बोला, केन विलियमसन ने बोला थोड़े दिन पहले कि मैं नहीं चाहूंगा पर्सनली कि कोई ऐसे आउट हो. तो आपका व्यू अभी भी वही है?
Sir, honestly, I also wouldn't like to get out like that. Just because I don't like, it's not like I can't get out like that. So nobody likes getting out. I don't like being nicked off, bowled, run out, LBW or anyway. Likewise, I also wouldn't like to get run out at the non-strikers end because it's a form of dismissal and it's pretty legal. And I don't see, there are a lot of arguments around it. Like like with anything else in this world, when something's happened new, you're going to have people with contradicting thoughts. Whether you want to do it or don't want to do it is absolutely fine. It's good to know that they won't do it because you can run the last minute and you can wait. So it's good. I mean, if people are going to come out and say that they won't do it, as a cricketer, I'll use that as an advantage for myself.
अश्विन इधर ये राउंड रॉबिन बोला जाता है, सचमुच में हुआ है? क्योंकि हर एक टीम ने दूसरे को अपसेट किया है, मारा है. जिम्बाब्वे ने पाकिस्तान को जैसे मारा. तो ये मैच की तरफ इंडियन टीम कैसे देख रही है? क्योंकि दिखने में स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड लग रहा है कि भाई जीतो, सेमीफाइनल पहुंच जाओ. आप कैसे देख रहे हो?
So nothing is straightforward. No one win has come easy in this World Cup. See, as the game's wider in a test match or something, you have a bad session. with the quality or the pure experience of a team, you can always rally around and come back in a series, in a test match or in a series. But in T20 cricket, the timelines are very little. So you can't, if it's not going your way, you can't like say, okay, we'll look after it later on. You'll have to take the initiative and go ahead and try and, put the pressure back on the opposition. But in this case, every team has adapted beautifully, and every team has got a decent bowling attack. The grounds are big. The wickets are having a little bit in it for the fast bowlers up front. So it's evened out the contest beautifully. And I think it's safe to say, if the ground sizes are pretty decent, I think a lot many more teams and a lot many more cricketers will have to value and rely back on skill. This competition has kind of evened it out, I think.
With the final question.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about tomorrow's game?
Simple, sir. We need to be as clinical as possible. Like I said, we know no team is a brush over. You will have to still go in there, counter that early phase with the bat, and still bowl those good balls to be able to generate pressure. Good teams will be clinical and will pile the pressure on such days, and it's a must-win contest, and we know that. Like in every other contest in this T20 World Cup, it's a must-win encounter. So we're looking forward to the game. Zimbabwe has played some wonderful cricket, so we can't go in there and expect them to crumble. They've bowled well, they've batted well, so we respect that. Thanks.